Hello Commanders, Commander Plater here, and today we're taking a quick look at the Elite Dangerous 2.4 teaser that we were shown at the Frontier Expo. Now this really blew a lot of people's minds who were at the Expo. I was there and the crowd reaction was absolutely amazing. We saw some really interesting things in there, so I'm going to play this back for you. We're going to go, every time we hit something interesting, I'm going to stop, have a little chat about it, and go from there. So let's get into it. So we didn't have to wait long for our first thing to talk about, and here you can see this is an old Thargoid ship from the first Thargoid conflict, downed. Now you can find this actually in game, and I have been there myself, and it does show signs of being affected by the Mycoid virus, or what we assume would be the Mycoid virus, and it's damaged, and it looks very dissimilar to what we've seen so far with the Thargoids. And also at the same time you can see some of the glowing canisters there in the foreground, and those are the biological materials, the resins that you find from Thargoid sites and Thargoids that when you destroy them. This is the Type 10. Has it been confirmed, double, triple, quadruple confirmed it's the Type 10? No. I did have the pleasure of having breakfast with the devs the day after the Expo, and having a chat with them. They actually refused to admit that this was the Type 10. When we said, oh of course, when we saw the Type 10, their exact reaction was, what Type 10? We haven't seen anything about the Type 10. Which, okay, well played guys, but we know what we're seeing, we know. And the Type 10 itself here, as you can see it does look that kind of a little bit more aggressive version of the Type 9. Some very similar looks about it. I am surprised to see the cockpit for the Type 9 on there, and with my concept drawings that I put together of the Type 10, I didn't hit the mark at all, did I? Something I really want to draw attention to on this one is the wings on the edges of the ship, and you can see them on the left and the right. Now, they're currently in an upright position. Now, in a moment, we will see the Type 10 leave through a docking slot. When we have a look at that, I want you to take a real good close look at the wings and see that they're in a different position. And this is what I was talking about with the Type 10. Look at those engines first of all. So we've got 8 engines at the back. The back profile is very similar to the Type 9, so it's safe to say the Type 10 is a retrofitted Type 9. Pretty obvious. But yeah, look at those wings on the left and the right. They are in a different position, and as I said, it looks like they're deployable, which looks absolutely cool. That's a very cool feature, and I'm glad it's finally in. And that does really fix the problem with the size of the docking slot. Everyone was talking about, well, with bigger ships, how are we going to fix this? How's it going to work? Well, this is an answer. Not the answer, but an answer. In this shot here, you can see some canisters marked with INRA. This is going to be very important because, in case you didn't know, INRA are a very shady organisation, or at least they were, who were in charge of protecting humanity and coming up with a continuity plan during the first Thargoid War. Humanity was basically prepared to completely lose, get turfed out of the bubble, and set up somewhere else. And INRA put some very interesting things in place. They were also responsible for the creation of the Mycoid virus, which is what defeated the Thargoids the first time round. On these canisters here, you do see what looks to be like a biohazard logo. If you look at the orange patterns on these canisters, they look biological. And when I say biological, they have the same effect as we've seen on those Thargoid ships that have been downed, the old ones from the first war, as well as the Thargoid base sites. Very similar in appearance. So does that mean Mycoid's going to be making a comeback? How is this going to work? INRA, are they coming back? As I've said previously, they are shady, and also at the same time, when a shady organisation is no longer needed, it just disappears the same way it came about. So, if we're seeing a return, it must be needed. In this scene, we see a ship being launched from a landing pad, and this landing pad appears to have red lights all around it in a state of emergency. What's caused the emergency? I do have a bit of a good idea, and I think we're going to see that a little bit later on in the trailer, and when we get there, I'm going to point it out. In this shot, we can see a station on fire in the background. As there's cobras flying through, this is wreckage, you can see the struts of the habitation rings in the background, and yes, a station is on fire. So it looks like things are about to change for us a lot in 2.4, and it doesn't look good for humanity at all. In previous shots, we've seen some commanders fighting against Thargoids. In this shot, in this freeze frame here, you can see on the bottom of the Anaconda twin-linked autocannons. Now these are going to be the multi-cannons, the AX ones, that we've seen in the outfitting. These models currently aren't available, so it looks like we are going to get alternative hardpoint sizes. What I'm going to assume is going to happen is as the escalation of the conflict between humans and Thargoids ramps up, we're also going to be seeing more weaponry widely available to us as well. And hopefully larger hardpoints beyond those class 2s. I know a lot of people are feeling the same way as me on that one. In this scene, we see a cobra fly through the caustic cloud left behind when you destroy a Thargoid. My immediate thoughts when I saw this was no, don't fly through that. But hey, this is a cinematic trailer, so let's not worry about that too much. This is just gameplay coming through there. And it looks to be picking up a Thargoid heart. This isn't what they currently look like in-game, and I'm hoping these are going to be new models. And there's also a subtle beating sound in the background, which you can't quite hear on this video now, but I do recommend watching the actual trailer itself fully cranked up so you can really enjoy the sound effects. So once again, we're seeing the Type 10, and that's over on the right hand side, and yes, it has a really obvious spoiler, like an actual spoiler. And as you can see there's wings again on the side, and also only 4 of the engines are lit up there. So I guess that must be proportional to the amount of thrust applied, depends on how many engines show up, which is pretty cool. So here we can see these 2 Thargoid ships in the background, and they look a little bit different to the ones we've seen before. That colouring, not as green, red and brown. And I'm going to be zooming in on these in a little bit. We do get another slightly clearer shot close up on them, and there's some interesting details that we'll be having a look at. And here we see a really nice close-up of these new Thargoid ships. They look so much more aggressive. They've got some patterning to them as well, that kind of almost leopard print, which is unusual, but at the same time it's very similar to that aquatic theme that people have been talking about. A little bit octopus, cuttlefish, that kind of thing. And also, looking at that cockpit, it looks ever so slightly different, that eye in the middle. At the top of it, you can still see that there is an emblem there, and it's very similar to the ones that we've seen before. We're going to get a chance to zoom in really close to this one in a second, and in my opinion it looks like these are part of the same Thargoid faction that we're fighting already. We've only seen the interceptors so far, and now the warships have turned up, and I think we'll be having a look at this one now. And so here we see a bit of a zoomed in version of that logo that I was talking about, and as you can see it does look an awful lot like the Barnard's Loop logo that we've seen so far on the Barnacles, on the other types of Cyclops ships. So I'm going to use a bit of assumption and yes, jumping to conclusions that this probably is the same faction. It's just they've called for help and they've upped their game, and the time has come for us to really have a fight on our hands, which will explain why we may have those large multi-cannons, and also why ships are going to be destroyed, stations are going to be destroyed, and it is all going to be going on forwards. Well, there we go, Commanders. From only a 1 minute long trailer, lots to talk about, lots to have a look at. And guys, I'm going to suggest you go and watch the full thing over on the Elite Dangerous channel. Definitely go look at it. Leave a little comment saying Plato sent me if you did go, because it'd be quite funny. At the same time, guys, let me know your opinions. Hit me down in the comments section. What did I miss? What did you see in there that I didn't? Am I wrong? Your opinions, please. And guys, I'm going to say it quickly, this is all going to be from 2.4. This is everything that we have to come for the rest of the year. There is a lot more content in there. Everyone who's saying 2.4 is simply just the Thargoids, oh look, that's it. No guys, we have a lot more interesting stuff to come. So, as usual, I want to say thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, turn on notifications, that way you get a notification every single time I put a video up. And at the same time, guys, please consider becoming a patron. It's a great way to help support the channel and help me to provide you with good quality content. And once again, thank you for watching. Commander Plater, out.